Our European colleagues had a big exercise in democracy. You know, that's the second largest democratic election in the world after India's democracy votes.
In the last several days, hundreds of millions of voters from the European Union's 27 member states went to the polls to select who will represent them in the bloc's parliament.
My name's Dan Hamilton. I'm a senior fellow at Johns Hopkins University School of Advanced International Studies. I've been working on transatlantic issues for a long time. I also was in the State Department as the Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Europe.
The European Parliament's biggest function is working on the bloc's budget and ratifying things like trade agreements. So far, the takeaway has been the record gains for the EU's far-right parties, but they only account for around 150 of the 720 seats that were up for grabs.
There were some far-right or hard-right, gains in a few countries, and that got the headlines. The center kind of held yesterday. The conservative mainstream got the largest votes. The Social Democrats, the kind of center-left, lost a few votes, but not too much. And then the liberals, in European sense of liberal, not U.S. sense, liberals in Europe are more like Wall Street Republicans. They did badly, but not everywhere.
While moderates still hold majorities in EU Parliament, the French electorate dealt a blow to President Emmanuel Macron. Marine Le Pen's nationalist National Rally Party made significant gains in the EU Parliament, prompting a drastic move by the president.
Extreme right got about 35% of the vote, and President Macron's party only got about 14%. So that was a real drubbing. And that prompted him to call a snap election.
A snap election is an election that is called earlier than expected. Generally, this is done in the parliamentary systems, where a prime minister is chosen from lawmakers of the ruling party. In that system, parliament is dissolved and everyone is up for election again. In the case of France, the nation's lower chamber, the National Assembly, is dissolved, and the first round of an election will be held June 30th and a second round on July 7th. This isn't all that uncommon. The UK will hold a snap general election on July 4th, as polling showed Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's party falling out of favor.
But you're going to have suddenly two big elections in the next few weeks in France and the UK, in which probably the hard right wins in France, but the Social Democrats, the Labour Party, wins in the UK.
While the numbers may not have been that favorable for Macron's party in the EU elections, he's hoping for higher turnout in the snap election.
People aren't that interested in, the European Parliament. Many of them don't know what it does either. So it's a lower turnout, but, European turnout is usually higher than American turnout for almost any election. Most of the elections, to the European Parliament turn on national issues. People are focused on their issues at home, not really on, quote, European issues.
The issues of EU nations aren't unlike what the U.S. is facing ahead of a contentious election come November.
Migration's a big issue in Europe, illegal migration in particular, the economy, inflation, the price of energy. The European gas prices are about 4 times what they are in the United States. Do you think we have it bad? And they have some divisions over, just as we do, over how to support Ukraine. How far do you go? So, they're kind of similar issues.
While the issues may be similar, the system is very different. For now, Americans will have to wait until November to weigh in. I'm Kara Rucker. For more stories like this, download the Straight Arrow News app or visit us at san.com.